Hello, good evening. I'm Luciano Ruas from the Brazilian Accent Improvisation. Today I'm gonna talk about the 5 reasons that make your improvise lose the Brazilian accent. And the first reason is to play many and many notes, fast notes, when you're improvising in a Brazilian style. Okay, for example, I'm gonna use this part of the theme. For example, I'm gonna improvise in this part. This could be interesting when you are in the climax of your solo, but when you start your improvise or you have so much to do, you are losing one thing that is very important for Brazilian music, that is the rhythm. When you play a lot of notes, you are losing the opportunity to think rhythmically. And with less notes, we can do more interesting thing for our improvise. Okay? For example, note that with less notes, I could do an improvise rhythmically more interesting. Okay, it sounded more for people who are not musicians or even musicians. I could do a thing that they could sing if they hear a lot of times the solo. It will be cantabile, okay? And I'm not saying that's forbidden play a lot of notes, but the soul of our improvise is in the rhythm, and if we feel we lose then our solo without thinking in rhythm, we're gonna tend to sound far from the Brazilian accent. All right? Okay. The second reason people don't sound with the Brazilian accent is to use blue notes or blue scales, pentatonics scales, and bebop scales. Like I said, they aren't forbidden in Brazilian music. They will sound good. They have these scales has very interesting sounds, but if we want to sound in the Brazilian language or accent, it would be interesting to try to do melodies with the same material that does the melody of the songs you are playing. Okay, we think a little different in jazz, because in jazz sometimes the theme is just a pretext to make up improvisation. Sometimes the theme doesn't have the same material we can put in the song. Okay, the sometimes the theme has so few notes, and it would be very difficult to do improvise with these very few notes. But the Brazilian music, the most of times the melody gives you information of what's done in that style. Okay, and if you want to sound more in a more traditional way, try to avoid these scales that we don't use in our music. Okay, like blues scale. You might have thought that Brazilian music it's why I can't mixture. I already said you can mixture, you can use the influence you want, but if you want to sound more authentic in Brazilian way, use the same influences that made that style. For example, samba was the fusion of European music with the Afro music, and with just using these two influences, you can sound very good in a good way. Okay, then I'm gonna show you an example, okay, of playing a frevo. That's another style, northeast style, with blue notes, and after that trying to use the scales that we use in Brazilian music, that are the diatonic scales. Okay. For example, this was a use of the blues scale. Or, for example, I apologize for people who plays this better than me. I think you could do, a lot of you could do more better uses of the scale, the blues scale. I use in a simple way with repeating to show you that it's don't sound, this sound is not proper. Okay, the sound is not proper for our music, or pentatonics or bebop scales. Even if you find some Brazilian musicians that do this because they were more influenced by music from out of Brazil, there are very interesting musicians here that sound authentic. Then, for example, this is an example as a frevo, we can use just notes of scales, of the scales of the chords. Okay. right? It's very, for me, when I learned, it was very difficult because blues scale, it's very attractive to sound good. Whatever you do will sound interesting in blues scale, in my opinion. But when you are playing the major scale, the minor scale, the mixolydian scale, sometimes it's difficult to stop in the right note to make it sound good. For me, what was a great challenge to do this, and that's why when I play blue notes inside this context, I can't play in a good way anymore. Okay. The third way that make your improvise don't sound with the Brazilian accent, it's the use of chromatism. In Brazilian music, we use chromatism with very careful. It's not free use. Okay, we avoiding so many cases, and these kind of double chromatic and triple chromatic to get a target note won't sound, it will sound more jazzy. Okay, for example, or for example, for me, this is like a bebop cliche. Our phrases will get more with diatonic intervals. Or some beginnings or endings with chromatic notes, but just a few. We don't use so much this this kind of sound. Or in major also. We avoid this kind of sound during the phrase and sometimes using just at the end. I'm gonna explain more about it in a class of chromatic use in Brazilian accent, okay? Then try to solve your problems with the scale. For example, when I was younger, I played the forró or baião. We using a lot of this. Oh, sorry. Now I used the blues scale, some chromatism that are unnecessary to sound in a Brazilian way. For example, if I would do this today, Very nice comment. Um, you told me that sometimes I'm sounding like blues during the 7th and 6 and 5. Okay, if you hear the melodies of forró, you are gonna see that they use a lot of it. Note that I use this kind of this draw pattern, but I don't finish using not near from that, or I don't use blue notes also okay, and it sounds if you hear the traditional language, you're gonna see what's possible and what isn't, okay, what is influence of outward, okay. And let's go to the next topic. Other reason you are making your sound lose the Brazilian accent, it's to use wrong articulations, okay. I think one of the most important example of this is to use the wrong sound of the syncopation. In a lot of styles, Brazilian rhythmic styles, the note of the middle in the syncopation, it's emphasized, okay. And then, for example, in the same song, okay. For example, when playing forró also, we can sound and in accent we have emphasis or accent in the upbeat, okay. It creates a interesting sound when played versus the comping, okay. Then sometimes if you mistaken the articulation, you are sounding kind of wrong, okay. I had some classes with important Brazilian pianists, and one of them told me, it's wrong what you are playing. I said, what's the problem? The articulation, it sounds like you are out of the style. It sounds like you aren't hearing the comping that's being made for you to solo, okay. And hearing it's today it sounds to me obvious, but when I was starting my journey to search for the Brazilian sound, it wouldn't sound, because I was just searching for notes, okay. And the fifth reason why your improvisation is losing Brazilian accent is then notes of ending notes of phrases. Okay, in some traditional styles, the phrases end on chord notes. You can end the phrase at the fundamental of or the third or the fifth, but not intentions. When you are playing intentions, it would sound a little modern, and some styles are rustic, are roots. Okay, then let me think one style that I can show you. Um, um, this is a shoti. It's a northeast style, and if we stop in intentions, it wouldn't sound so good as ending the phrases in chord notes. Okay. Always it sounds like we have to go to the chord note. I have to resolve the note on a chord note. It works well when in this style, in a frevo also, when we end the phrase in the tonic note. Okay, for example, look, in the third, if I stop in a tension, I would like to resolve it. Okay, resolving. I trained so much to stop in chord notes that it's unnatural now here in these styles. Try to play out, but let me try. It's getting out of the original language of frevo, we can do to sound modern, we can do in a lot of contexts, but when we want to sound traditional, we want to make the reference, to create reference with the original language, it won't sound good, okay? And another topic, I think it's near from this, is the ending of phrases in the wrong rhythm. For example, frevo, it's natural in frevo to end phrasings in anticipation, and on the first tempo, so the first beat of the measure, but it's not natural to end phrases with syncopations, for example. It's not natural in frevo to do this. It's natural or ending in syncopations, okay? These were the five reasons that make your improvise don't sound like with a Brazilian accent. I hope you like this subject, and if you want more, see my videos. I'm here in Instagram, YouTube and Facebook, okay? You can watch this and a lot about Brazilian music here in this channel, okay? I'm Luciano Ruas from the Brazilian Accent Improvisation. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.